So last month I was traveling. I went on vacation. We had a layover in Chicago, went to Port Canaveral in Florida, and got on a cruise ship to Turks and Caicos, Amber Cove, Grand Bahama, and a couple other places. And while we were there, I went to 7 different duty-free shops. And I haven't been to a duty-free store, which if you guys don't know, I'll tell you what a duty-free store is in a second. And I bought a few fragrances, but while I was there, I was expecting to just make a few shorts based on the videos and then talk about my fragrances I bought later. But today I want to do a video talking about some of the fragrances that I ended up getting, and then also the positives, but also what is wrong with duty-free stores, because there is some things that I found out that I wasn't aware of, because again, I haven't been to one in a long time, and so we're going to give you a little bit of that information today. Again, also talking about a few of the fragrances that I saw and bought. So without further ado, let's get it. What's good, my great smelling dudes? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Randy, aka FragranceDoud. Make sure that you guys smash that like, put your brother on the algorithm. Also, comment below, let me know if you've been to any duty-free stores lately, what you picked up, if you feel the same way about what I'm about to say, stuff like that. And then also, if you're not and you like my content, make sure that you guys subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. Never expected. With that said, what's a duty-free store? Duty-free store is just that, duty-free, tax-free. You have to be traveling out of your country or back from another country in order to visit a duty-free store. In order to purchase from a duty-free store. My parents thought that you had to actually, in order to go into the store, you had to be out of the country already, but that's not the case. Anyway, so they're tax-free stores, usually on items like liquor, cigarettes, fragrances, beauty products, stuff like that. And they're tax-free. And a lot of times, like when you're leaving the country and you go to Turks and Caicos, they'll have a bunch of duty-free stores right at the port. But for the most part, you'll find them in bigger countries, in airplanes, some random train stations. But for the most part, it's airports. And I went to 7 of them. So Chicago has the O'Hare Airport. We had a layover there, and they have 3 duty-free stores. They had nothing in them. The only one that they had was the new Dolce & Gabbana K Eau de Parfum Intense. I actually like that fragrance. I haven't done a review on it because I don't have a decant or anything like that, but I will, and I think it's decent. I still think it fits in that line of kind of like semi-boring but smells good. They also had Kouros, YSL Kouros, and not really for me. I had to wash that off my hand. So just an FYI, if you ever wanted my thoughts on that, yeah. So I went to 3 of them there. They really didn't have anything. It was kind of a letdown, but you're allowed to go in. You're just not allowed to buy unless you show them that you were coming back from an overseas country. With that said, we got to Florida. I got on the cruise ship. Found out that we have a duty-free store on the cruise ship. Didn't realize that, but it was all fragrances. And there, it was a pretty big letdown too. Yes, they had some fragrances. For instance, CH Men Privé. I already had it, and it's pretty much not found anywhere anymore unless you're like on eBay. But they did have it there, and that was a running theme throughout a lot of the duty-free stores, is that they have a lot of fragrances that are discontinued, but like not major ones. Like they had CH Men Privé, they had this one, Bvlgari's Man Black Cologne, which I tried. I'll tell you guys a story in a second. But the one on the cruise ship, it was pretty nice. I think I took a video in there. I also did, for the first time ever, try out Versace Blue Jeans. They finally had a tester of it. Usually I just see it in Marshall's. And I really like that fragrance. I'm going to be buying it. And just an FYI, if you guys want my thoughts on it, I know people have been asking me to try that for a while. I've just never got around to trying it because there's no testers in my area. And I wasn't about to buy it because to me, it kind of looked tacky. But it's really good fragrance, just an FYI. My wife really likes it too. They had a bunch of this like private blends and like Tom Ford's, and then they had like some of the special edition Carolina Herrera's, like the skateboard one and stuff like that. But outside of that, it wasn't anything different, and they had no new releases. Again, I was looking for Boss Bottle Triumph Elixir because there are, especially with Hugo Boss, the Boss Bottle line has a few fragrances come out a year, and one of those fragrances is always a duty-free exclusive for the first 2 months, and this time it is Boss Bottle Triumph Elixir, which now that 2-month period is over and it's about to come to regular stores. But I was looking for that because duty-free stores, but it turns out that it was only duty-free in Europe. So unfortunately, I couldn't get it there. So anyway, I was kind of just let down. Duty free is great, but I'll tell you the main thing in a second. So then I went to the other duty free stores. Turks and Caicos had 2. Then they had one at Amber Cove, and then they had one at the last place that I went, Grand Turk, and which is also Turks and Caicos. But they had all 3 of those. I did videos on them, which I showed you earlier, and honestly, they didn't have much. They had pretty much everything that you would find in a normal Macy's. They had, again, a few discontinued items, but the prices were absurd. So I was going into there thinking, tax-free, sweet, I'm going to be getting the prices that I get them off News Parfums. Like News Parfums, if you buy a fragrance, all they're doing is cutting out the middleman from going overseas to the United States, which it's like a 30% increase when it comes from Europe to the United States. So I thought I'd be getting that 30% change, but I wasn't. The prices there were above retail, 7%, 7 to 10% above retail is what I found. So if you were going to buy a fragrance, for instance, like Bleu de Chanel, let's just say it was $150. There it was $170, $160. I mean, the prices were kind of like how Kohl's, they'll drive you in by saying, hey, we have 40% off the whole store. But the thing is what they're not telling you is they're jacking the prices up on the retail of those items to then drop it down 40%. So you're like only getting 5%, 10% off max. And so these duty-free stores are bringing you in by saying you're getting tax-free, but they're price gouging, and then they're bringing that the price down from that, and it was absurd prices. That's why I really didn't buy anything. The only 2 things that I wanted to buy while I was there, this one I bought because it had a broken box and it was in their clearance section, which it was the only bottle in clearance. It was like the clearance for the whole duty free. And this was going for $28, which is around a little bit less than what it goes online, but I really enjoy it. It is going to be what I'm going to be talking about later this week. It is Kenzo Homme Eau de Parfum. It is a leather marine, salty, fresh fragrance. It's the best one in the line by far. It is classy, masculine, fresh. I really like this fragrance. The leather in it shines, but isn't too prominent to where it's like overbearing. Really enjoy the fragrance, but again, I'm going to be doing a full review on that now that I have it. That was the only full bottle purchase that I made from all 7 duty-free stores. I was expecting, I took thousands of dollars just to spend at duty-free stores. I didn't really feel like buying anything because most of them I owned. I was looking for that Le Beau Paradise Garden, hoping they would have that. No, they didn't have that either. They honestly didn't have much, if you could see from the videos. They had like Tom Ford's Metallique, which I know is discontinued now, but I didn't really care much about that. And then they had this. So Jeff from SoCal Scents, once I got home, I told him about my story. He sent me this. So they had a full bottle of Man Black Cologne, which is a discontinued version of that line, and I never tried it. And I never heard of it, never anything. So I saw it and I sprayed it and I was like, holy crap. So the fragrance kind of smells like if you took Man in Black, that vanilla fragrance, scrapped the vanilla, added in like a little bit more booze. It's like a boozy black pepper citrus fragrance. As you get to the dry down, it gets some of this like creamy orange blossom, like floral, like a sweet white floral. And it's a beautiful fragrance. It is cologne. It's fresh. It's going to be spicy, Really, really nice fragrance. But then I looked and I realized that they didn't have anything to sell. And so it was a full tester, and I tried to bribe them. I said, I'll give you 150. I looked online, I saw it was discontinued. I said, I'll give you guys $150 cash to pocket this if I can buy this fragrance off you. They were like, no, we can't. The one guy was trying to beg with his manager's manager. But I was there for like an hour trying to get that fragrance. Still couldn't. But thank you to Jeff from SoCal Scents who sent me this. It is a sprayer. It's like a 20 milliliter or something like that. So I'll definitely be using it. Really, really nice. And then they had other random fragrances that you can only find in specific boutiques, like Chanel's Allure Homme EDP Blanche. Already had the fragrance. Didn't need it. I have 2 bottles of it. Fantastic. But I bought it for $122 on Chanel's website, because Chanel's don't get discounted, especially this one. Every once in a while you can find like a Sephora sale, 15% off of Chanel. You can't get that for this because it's only on Chanel's website in boutiques. With that said, that was $122. It was $141 for this at the Grand Turk thing. So that therein lies my issue with duty-free shops. They have some unique fragrances, like 3 or 4 that you won't find really anywhere else. I mean, again, the boutique ones and the special edition ones, but I mean, you can try those or blind buy them online or whatever, anything like that. So I'm not really interested in going in and trying a CH212, the skateboard one. I mean, I tried it, but it was like not what I was going there for. I was more looking for fragrances like YSL's Baby Cat and Tuxedo that you really can't try anywhere other than duty-free stores and some like high-end boutique shops. And out of all 7 of them, there was one that had the Baby Cat and Tuxedo. The Tuxedo was empty. And so then I went to another one and they had Tuxedo, but not Baby Cat. But thankfully, I have a decant of both of those, a large decant of both. But yeah, outside of all of that, there was really nothing else to ride home. I was so excited that there was going to be 7 duty-free shops on my route. And by the end of it, I only took those videos that you saw because there was nothing really else to say. They have a crap ton of designer fragrances for really, really expensive. Like, if you're in the fragrance community, you know all about like designer fragrances and discounters and where to get them from discounters. These prices just were absurd. I mean, YSL's Baby Cat was like $400. I mean, and it's like 300 and some online. So, I mean, I was not about to buy and be stupid just because I was on vacation. So I took a few videos, did what I wanted to do, but they just didn't really have anything that struck gold for me. I mean, again, this is a great fragrance, but I could have got it for like $5 more online. The only one I really wish I could have got was this. Glad I tried it, but outside of that, I went through all of them, spent about an hour on each one. There was no other fragrances other than the ones that I mentioned in this video that I have not tried before. I went through every single fragrance they had. There was not one that was new. There was not one that was one that I haven't tried before. Outside of, again, that Dolce & Gabbana one from the Chicago branch and the skateboard one and stuff like that, nothing. So when it comes to duty-free stores, just don't get yourself overly excited. They're a good place to go in if you want to try some things because they do have testers for almost every bottle in there. But don't be looking to buy things in there unless it's like you're in Europe. Then kind of forgive me for this video because it's not about Europe. It's about what my experience was with the United States and surrounding duty-free shops. And it's really nothing to write home about. Don't get really too excited about it outside of just sniffing fragrances. You're not going to be finding anything really new. You're not going to be finding anything unique. And the prices are going to be too much for you to want to spend anything instead of buying them on discounters. So, yeah, that's my issue with duty-free stores. I at least expected to get like the French prices. But I guess that was just me being a little bit too prideful with my knowledge in the fragrance game. I should have probably known that it wasn't going to be that. But you know what? Honestly, the liquor was way much less expensive than what I would get at home. So I ended up buying a few bottles of that. But anyway, yeah, so duty-free stores, they're kind of like a thumbs down for me. Unless you're looking to just try fragrances out, you're not going to really get much from the duty-free stores as far as purchases. So, yeah, let me know if you've been to them, if you agree with me. Let me know if you're from Europe, if yours are better than mine, because honestly, mine just weren't very good. So, yeah, thank you guys so much. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.